All right, big update now coming in. At this point in time, we're learning, Tahawwur Rana is expected to be handed over to the NIA. We are learning by the FBI on a day to be decided by both sides. This is the latest that we're picking up. He has been convicted in 2011 and he was later sentenced to 13 years in prison, and he had approached the Supreme Court, after which we understand in a big development that's now coming in, the US Supreme Court has denied the Mumbai terror attack accused Tahawwur Rana's application. That means there will be no stay on his extradition to India. My colleague Radhika Ramaswamy is joining us on the broadcast here. I also have with me my colleague Ghazali joining us on the broadcast. Radhika, big win for Indian authorities. The US Supreme Court, we understand, has denied Tahawwur Rana's application in which he had sought extradition to India.
That's right. This is a big win as far as Indian agencies are concerned. His appeal has once again been rejected by the US Supreme Court, which means he's one step closer to getting extradited to India. Remember, US President Donald Trump had also approved his extradition, and multiple courts had rejected his appeals, including the US Supreme Court. Now, Tahawwur Rana's role is very, very critical as far as 2611 case is concerned. He's a key accused and one of the high-profile accused who will be brought to India. In fact, it will also help Indian agencies understand the role of Rana, role of several other wanted accused as far as this case is concerned. Of course, the role of Pakistan as well. You know, as far as Tahawwur Rana's role is concerned, it is David Coleman Headley, one of the other accused, who had in fact named him during the deposition, how Tahawwur Rana had provided logistical support to David Coleman Headley, provided a visa as well as helped open an immigration center office in India so that David Coleman Headley could conduct a recce and plan these attacks. So as far as Tahawwur Rana is concerned, yes, a key conspirator, somebody who planned the operation, somebody who was in touch with Headley, as well as several other attackers and handlers in the case, is what the Mumbai police charge sheet has also said. The charge sheet also went on to say that Tahawwur Rana himself had visited Mumbai days before the attack. So yes, it is, in a sense, will bring some sort of closure and justice to victims of 2611, and also help understand and unearth deeper terror network as far as several terror organizations within Pakistan are concerned. So yes, big win for Indian agencies.
Well, absolutely. We understand he had earlier filed a plea against his extradition and said that because he was a Muslim of Pakistani origin, a former Pakistani army officer, he was being sent into a hornet's nest. That application was, of course, rejected. And we understand today also, after this plea was filed by Tahawwur Rana, again, a notice on the Supreme Court website has said application denied by the court. That means it paves the way for Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. What does it mean? What are its implications going to be? Of course, my colleague Ghazali is now joining us on the broadcast. He's getting us more. We understand, Ghazali, before we try to understand the implications, and, of course, it's a big development now that's coming in for Indian authorities. We've been trying to push this for a long time now, and finally, we understand Tahawwur Rana is going to be extradited to India soon. Any information about the process? He's expected to be handed over to the NIA by FBI, we understand. A day is to be decided by both sides?
See, in diplomacy, we know that how nothing is fixed, because even when his last application was filed, which was to stay the extradition, his extradition from US to India, it appeared that that would be the last legal option or last legal recourse he has been taking. But that didn't work out like that. And just months later and few days later, on 27th Feb, another application was filed, which was rejected today. So there is no official word from either the US authorities or the Indian authorities as such that whether this would be the last legal recourse or this is the last legal recourse he has availed now. But it appears so that if this is going to be the last legal recourse he has already taken off, then Indian agencies will certainly speed up the extradition process, because this has been a very long drawn case of extradition which has been dragging its feet. very interestingly, as Radhika was pointing out, Tahawwur Rana had also stayed in India just days before the Mumbai attack on two occasions, on two dates, on 13th and 21st of November. And he had traveled to places like Ahmedabad and Cochin and Hapur and Agra in UP. So once he's brought back into Delhi, as and when it happens, the agencies will also try to get him to those locations where he had stayed, and that will certainly help the Indian agencies here to unravel all his linkages which led to that entire terror attack in Mumbai. And this is a big win for agencies. They will certainly be able to establish more, though it is very well known the involvement of Pakistan, its agencies, its army. So that will only be those allegations and will only be proven true, because India has been pointing out Pakistan for its terror linkages in all the global forums and very recently in United Nations
and
as well.
Pakistan so far has been denying all those allegations and accusations which India says are true, and they have evidence also. But former UP DGP Mr. Vikram Singh is also now joining us on the broadcast here. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NDTV. How do you see this big development, sir, coming in as a big win for the Indian establishment? We've been pushing for this since a long time now, as we've been saying, and finally the day is here. We understand this would definitely now pave the way for Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India.
This is a major diplomatic victory for India. We had known all along that Tahawwur Rana was an important ISI operative and a very valuable asset in the USA and Canada. He had served as an army doctor in the Pakistan Army and then migrated with the help of the ISI to relocate in the USA and Canada. He, in fact, started an immigration agency and had the audacity to start an office in Mumbai. He is eyeball deep involved in the 2008 Mumbai massacre, in which 160 persons were killed, and the rest is history. The fact of the matter is David Coleman and Headley and he were willing accessories to the attack on India, and he paved the ground and prepared the roadmap for David Coleman Headley. Now, when David Coleman Headley visited Mumbai, it was with a willing accessory like Tahawwur Rana, who facilitated his visit, introduced him to the page 3 people who took David Coleman Headley for his reconnaissance and also identified the probable targets of the attack that was impending. Now, Tahawwur Rana is not known. He is involved in 12 cases. That also on a Danish newspaper, who probably the allegation was desecrated the prophet. Well, he is also accused of killing innocent US citizens. But these 12 cases and also the attack on India, the 2008 Mumbai attacks, make him one of India's most wanted.
Yes.
Therefore, his extradition to India would mean one thing, that important information would come, that who are the other accomplices who helped facilitate the 2008 Mumbai attack and also pave the way for David Coleman Headley, his visit to India, and also the fact that they were financing
the entire terror network that India, of course, has been talking of and accusing Pakistan of. But that is something that Indian authorities are going to be unraveling and looking at as they get the custody of Tahawwur Rana. He is one of the most wanted men and has been in the US. We understand he was sentenced after the attacks, of course, took place. But yes, his extradition is very much important for the Indian authorities. Sir, do you think with this, much more, of course, needs to be done, of course, we understand, but this would definitely serve as justice to the 2611 victims?
Very much. He is one person who's a repository, a gold mine of information, the financial trail, the financial background, and also those who were accessories to the attack on India. And yes, he was the think tank behind the ISI. The foot soldier, I would not say the foot soldier, but a very valuable asset who was planted into India, and also to create the sleeper cells which would be so necessary for an attack like 2008 Mumbai episode. Therefore, his interrogation, sustained interrogation and follow-up would give a gold mine of information also what has happened in the past, and also to take preventive measures so that such a thing does not happen again.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NDTV and sharing all that information with us. That was Mr. Vikram Singh, former DGP UP, speaking to NDTV on this very issue. We understand it definitely comes as a big development, a big win for the Indian authorities, and Tahawwur Rana is expected to be handed over to the NIA by FBI on a date that is going to be decided by both sides. That is, of course, between the two countries. When that is going to be decided, my colleague Ghazali continues to stay with us. He's been tracking all the developments on the ground here also. Well, Ghazali, we understand in this regard an announcement would be expected soon. We understand this is a conversation that both sides would have in secret. But yes, now that the news is out that the extradition of Tahawwur Rana is not going to be a very difficult process, the announcement on that front also would be expected?
I don't think there will be an announcement that he is going to be extradited, but generally the information will only come once he's handed over and he's landing over here in India. But as you rightly pointed out, this has been a major and very significant success for India's diplomacy, because this case had been dragging on for very long, and even during the course of investigation, our Indian investigators had also gone to sort of interrogate David Coleman Headley. His interrogation was done by the Indian agencies, but access to Tahawwur Rana was not given, or he was not interrogated yet. So for the first time, the main conspirator of 2611, as Indian agencies claim, this guy will be interrogated by Indian agencies once he lands here. And as and when that happens, because the dates are not confirmed yet, there is no official confirmation whether this was his last legal recourse, as I have been reporting. And once that comes from the Indian agencies, a hint will be there that perhaps this was the last chance he had. Then Indian agencies will also swiftly move in to ensure that his extradition is done as soon as possible.